Doamnelor și domnilor, sunt Mihai Daniel, iar astăzi îl am alături de mine pe domnul Pierre Person, care este CEO și fondatorul proiectului Usual, care tocmai ce s-a listat pe Binance acum o oră de la momentul în care am filmat. Mr. Pierre, welcome to my channel.
Thank you for the invitation, Daniel.
With pleasure. So we will start with a small introduction because, we just saw the project listed in Binance like an hour ago. I want to ask you, who is Pierre?
Pierre is a normal guy that believe in crypto since 10 years. I think I discovered blockchain in 2013, 2014. Bitcoin first, and after that, the first altcoin. I start with a altcoin named BChair, a really old altcoin. And after that, I have many adventures in my life. I started as a lawyer. After that, I became the political advisor of the French president, being also a member of parliament in France. So I had the chance to work on crypto as a regulator, as a guy that is working on the regulation. And I quit politics in 2022, and I decided to create another adventure around Usual because I was convinced that stablecoin and especially crypto in general is very important if you want to democratize finance. So that's the aim of Usual and a little bit of my background.
Okay, now let's talk about Usual. What is Usual?
It's very simple. Usual, I think we can say that is a decentralized banking protocol. In certain sense, we aim to decentralize Tether, Circle, all those fiat-backed stablecoin that are very much centralized and doesn't share any value, any yield to the user. So we try to make a better stablecoin that is like a liquid deposit in a bank. In certain sense, a stablecoin is like a deposit in a bank, but it's liquid on chain. And we aim to have a product that is more secure, with more transparency and more fairness. So we aim to distribute value that have been generated by the user, because it's like the ethos of crypto. Crypto has been invented also not just for decentralized, for the purpose of decentralization, but just to give back the power to the user. So that's the aim of Usual.
And what is different in the way that Usual stablecoin is functioning compared to USDC or to USDT?
Yeah, so Usual is fully collateralized on chain. USDT and USDC are centralized and collateralized by T-bills that are in bank, and a part of the collateral are exposed also to bankruptcy. USDC was close to bankruptcy when SVB Bank in March 2023 bankruptcy happened. And so we aim to have a system where the collateral is fully on chain, fully auditable, transparent, verifiable, and fully collateralized by something where there is no leverage. It's really very important, because when people have a stable coin, they want to have something that is stable, something that they will not have any loss on their capital. So first, Usual is making the same system that is centralized and in TradFi with Tether and Circle on chain, where we collateralize USD0, that is our stablecoin, with some T-bills on chain, in order to be sure that we are 100% collateralized and we offer a very safe product. After that, we have various other products on top of the stablecoin, and so you can stake it. And so you can stake your stablecoin and earn some Usual. And really, this is really different with what we can see on the market. Because if I take a step back, Tether and Circle are distributing nothing, no yield and no exposure to the growth. You don't have any exposure if, let's say, Tether scale to a trillion. You have since 2 years some stablecoin that gives a yield, but they don't give any exposure. If on those scales to billions to trillions, you have just a stablecoin that yields 5%, 4%. So you have no exposure. Usual is a mix between that, where if you stake your stablecoin, you earn ownership on the protocol. So you can expose yourself to the success of the protocol. If you are early entrants, you can benefit from that, and you can align your strengths, saying, okay, we want another model, and we want to take our liquidity and put that in Usual to build together, the next stablecoin issuer.
And for example, because now it is very new for the markets, so I think now it is a good time for people to get involved. So what are the best things that people can do, to have benefit on long term if they get in the Usual now?
Yeah, you say the word long-term. Usual is aligned with long-term believers. You know, in crypto, there is two types of believers. There is short-term farmers and long-term believers. Really, we think behind usual, we need to create a mechanism that will benefit for people that trust the mechanism, that think that behind the usual, there is a real value and not just, you know, a very short-term speculative hype. And we aim to invent a mechanism that will give the possibility to have a revenue-based model that gives the potential for long-term users to increase their wealth and participate in the usual. So, like you said, we are at the beginning. You know, we only have 300 millions of TVL. We will scale. There is no doubt on that. We will, and the idea is to scale as much as Tether and Circle. And so the idea, if you want to be implied in usual, you just have to deposit some capital in usual and to participate to the product of usual, farming the governance token, locking your liquidity, providing liquidity in soft curve pool in order, you know, to bring liquidity for the stablecoin to be very much liquid over DeFi and CeFi. So you can participate just in usual ecosystem, and you will be rewarded for that every day, because the model have been invented for every people to receive a fraction of usual every day if they participate to the value created around the usual ecosystem.
What are the biggest challenges and the biggest, I don't know, issues of the current stable coins in our, you know, in the crypto world?
Yeah, you say the right term. You know, stablecoin market is very competitive. Since Tether and Circle, there is no much real stablecoin, fiat-backed stablecoin that achieve to scale. You know, there is Maker, but Maker is in between in a certain sense because over collateralized with CDP mechanism and so on. So really, it's a competitive market. And so the idea for us is to present a bet to the user. Say, okay, every people on their side are small against, let's say, Tether Circle. There is a small fraction. But if everyone put their effort together, and we can create another financial institution where the value and the wealth created is redistributed to the community. It was very important for usual to say that, because, you know, you don't see a lot of projects where the community has 90% of the shares. And really, we have invented this model to, you know, promote community, because really it's community that brings the value to Tether Circle, because it's them that use the stablecoin. It's them that provide, you know, cash to mint some stablecoin. So the idea of usual is to provide another model. The other challenge for stablecoin market, you know, it's to bridge TradFi and DeFi, and really be possible, you know, to have an efficient bridge between what is old finance and what is new finance. And really, we aim to be a bridge between real-world assets that are not accessible currently to users, because very much permissioned, very much fragmented, and no secondary liquidity. And we want to issue a stablecoin that is backed by T-bills, real-world asset, that is offered to everyone. And that's really the promise of finance. You know, you need to democratize finance. Crypto have been invented for that. And so that's the aim of usual in behind, to be something, an institution, a financial institution that will belong to the users.
I will ask you a personal question now. Do you think that stable coins will replace fiat? Do you think that stable coins have a chance, you know, to penetrate the real world economy?
I have no doubts in 2018, you know. I think I'm 100% convinced that will happen. The question is when, you know, because what is stablecoin? Stablecoin is like electronic money. It's like commercial money in certain sense. The money everyone have currently is in bank account, are just issued by a bank, you know, and the bank is controlled by a central entity. A stablecoin is like that. Is also issued by a bank like that aim to verify certain security and process that guaranteed by the regulation and by the central bank. But, you know, in the long term, commercial bank will become stablecoin. Yeah, central commercial bank will be a stablecoin issuer in certain sense, where every money we will have will be on chain. You know, there is no purpose to have a fragmentation of the liquidity through old infrastructure, and the idea of having a stable coin that will be everywhere. The question is how many issuers there will be, how many issuers will issue stablecoin. But really the fact that tomorrow everyone will have stablecoin and the money will be in a form of stablecoin, I'm 100% convinced.
For usual, are you planning to start any, you know, like negotiation or like business proposal for the banks?
Yeah, really, you know, crypto should be democratized. And I'm very convinced that, you know, if my grandmother is not able to enter in crypto, is that because crypto is complicated, you know. And so we need to build a new layer of services that are more fintech related, that are used daily in the daily business of everyone. And so clearly for that, we need to have old financial infrastructure that will modernize their infrastructure, that through the regulation will be able, you know, to enter in this market. But clearly we will speak to financial institutions like banks, because we want not just to propose a DeFi for a DeFi product, you know, for degens and so on. We really want to offer a new way to put in common the value generated by the finance. And so we need to speak to everyone.
And I will ask you a question. For example, you know, a project like yours and many other projects, you know, if they open to community, for example, you can have like 2,000 people who do business development for usual, you know, they can meet other companies, they can present it. Have you planned this? You have this in the, you know, in the strategy of the company, you know, to give the power to the people, you know, to scale up the business.
Yeah, very much, because what you describe is something around the protocol that lets people also organize themselves around what is a protocol that is decentralized. And so it's very much about the governance and to let people, you know, create other services on top of this ecosystem. First, we are the creators and the founders of Usual. But what I really want is that in the future, you know, maybe there will be next to Usual Lab, that is the development company that is working on Usual protocol. There will be various other companies that will propose their services to the DAO, like Aave and so on is built, because it's like that we can create something that is very much decentralized. You know, a lot of people are arguing decentralization to not respect what is currently regulation. You know, I really think that, you know, decentralization is not just a word, it's a mindset. And we need at the end to decentralize very much a protocol and let people organize themselves to build value and create services on top of the protocol itself. But the subject is that it cannot happen day one. We need to have, you know, a clear leadership that will drive the protocol at the beginning. But a really much decentralized protocol should be on the long term decentralized around the community and around other companies that is bringing value to the ecosystem. Yeah.
In the perspective of MICA regulation, how is Usual standing?
Yeah, Usual is in between, you know. MICA is a great text in certain sense. There is some, let's say, little bit of default because we can do better. And I work a lot on MICA, trying also to convince my European colleague that on stablecoin, you know, we should be open. We have seen that also with US regulation. US regulators are pragmatic, especially on stablecoin. We should be also pragmatic on stablecoin. You know, it's not a breach in the European sovereignty, I think. Clearly, stablecoin are defending the sovereignty, especially the monetary sovereignty for Europe. And that's a shame that in Europe, we don't have any Euro stablecoin market that are, let's say, a little bit more stronger, because clearly we need Euro in Euro stablecoin on the long term. So Usual is in between, like I said. We are not really much centralized. We aim to be decentralized. And so we need another text, another law, another regulatory setup to be very clear on what should be, you know, the regulatory framework. Because decentralized entity cannot work like centralized one. We can have rules that are the same, but we need to reinvent also a set of rules where decentralized is very much automatic, as there is a lot of automation. This is not really much controlled also by individuals. And so we should invent new rules. And when I was a member of parliament, I tried to convince a lot my colleagues that you cannot control and regulate a centralized entity like decentralized entity. You cannot regulate infrastructure that are very much centralized and infrastructure that is working totally autonomous, you know. And so that's really much what we need to do with MICA too, where we need to think, you know, with a lot of interview, asking people, entrepreneurs, also people from fintech, what should be the future of finance. And I think what happened in US, where it's not just a fact that Trump have been elected, but we think that US regulator will be more pragmatic. And I think European regulators should also follow this path, where we need to have some sandbox, you know, where people will create, will fail, but we will define together what is the future of finance in Europe.
And the last question before I give you, like, you know, the last words. Do you think 2025 will be a good year for the crypto?
I hope so. Like everyone, I hope so. You know, yeah, since 2022, the market was very difficult. And I'm not speaking just, you know, for a bag holder of coins and as an entrepreneur. I think crypto ecosystem was hurt a lot by some behavior that was not cool, you know, that was not regulated enough on certain aspect, and that create a lot of bad things, hurting people's and so on. And I really want to see crypto, you know, crypto renaissance, you know, people that are a rebirth in certain sense, where we have new entrepreneurs that are very much aligned with DeFi ethos, that want to build long-term, not just shilling token and so on. So I really hope that, yes, the market will be good, but really hope also that we will see a lot of new project that is bringing new stuff, creating more innovation, and for everyone in certain sense.
Okay, and the last question, because you just launched the project on Binance 1 hour ago, how hard is to put a project on Binance?
I don't know if it's hard. You know, it's a consequence of all the work of the team before. Yes, there is not a lot of projects that are listed on Binance, and we really had this chance. And I need to thank Binance because, you know, DeFi protocol are very much for few people, but exchange are like the gate for new people to enter in crypto. So the exposure is enormous in Binance. So Binance is very much active. They select, you know, projects that are executing well, and so I think it's what matter for Binance to have a great project on the platform, and to be sure that the team behind is really committed to bring something to the community.
That is nice. Pierre, thank you very much for the interview. If you have any message to the Romanian community, please feel free to share it.
No, I think you said before the interview that there is a lot of Romanians that are engaged in crypto, that hold crypto and so on. I think that's good, because I think it's the future of Europe. And so we need to continue, we need to democratize, we need to explain what should be the future of finance, you know, not for insiders, but for everyone. And so you participate to that. I'm trying also to do my part, building a project. But yeah, let's continue and let's increase, you know, the awareness of crypto, and also to spread financial education, because I really think that in Europe, there is a lack of financial education, and that's really much important. But thank you to you, Daniel.
Yeah, thank you very much. Wish you all the best and good luck. Mulțumesc și vouă celor care vă uitați la noi. Toate cele bune. Au revoir.
Au revoir.